Hi, I'm Richard Ferguson, a Director of Sensei UK. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about embedding change in organisations. How often in your organisation have you heard the phrase, "Oh, that won't work, we don't do it like that, we've always done it this particular way"? There's classic symptoms of resistance to change, which is the downfall of so many organisations at this particular juncture in our sort of economic climate, where businesses are having to reinvent themselves, find new ways of doing different things in order to remain competitive, to continue to add value to their customers and to their clients. We've got a track record of helping organisations embed change, and we firmly believe there are 4 fundamental principles. Principle number 1 is that an organisation must have a clear mandate or vision. The rationale for why we need to change needs to be compelling, it needs to be clear, and it needs to be understandable from the top of the organisation right the way down through the organisation. Second principle that we fundamentally believe in is that you need to think about change top down and bottom up. Great leadership is required, absolutely, to drive change and create direction. However, you also need people further down the organisation to be sucking those changes in and to be beginning to make a difference. Third principle that we talk about is that an organisation is complex, it's dynamic. You can't just make a simple change in one place and expect that to work. We have to treat the business as a living system and recognise that you need to pull this lever, pull that lever, pull maybe another lever in order to make things work. And the final principle that we believe in is that you need to focus on behaviour. It's all well and good talking about how people need to think or to feel, but actually give them clarity on what it is that you need to do differently. That then enables them to begin to make the change more readily and more easily. If those 4 principles are actually going to land and embed change in your business, there's 2 additional, capabilities that's required. One is transformational leadership. People at leadership levels all the way through the organisation need to be comfortable in managing or leading change, which is different to leading a department or a function or a business in a steady state. It's much more about direction, it's much more about momentum and energy and aligning people. You also need to build change capability. It's not necessarily a core competence in most businesses, so actually investing in building that competence, whether it be drawing people from the outside, developing people internally inside the organisation, but building a cadre of change capability is crucial. Interesting statistic says that over 90% of organisations that embark on change programmes fail to deliver more than 50% of the benefit attributed to those change programmes. That is a frightening statistic. So if you are going to continue to survive in the challenging climates we find ourselves, you are going to have to reinvent yourselves, you are going to have to land sustainable organisational change in your business, and that's tough.